Hello, my name is MagentaLewi, and in this video I'm gonna try to predict what biomes and what features will be updated in Minecraft 1.19. I'm gonna do this by putting them into a tier list of how much they need an update, and then we're of course also gonna look at what we already know about Minecraft 1.19. If you end up enjoying this video, then make sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and please do leave a like. And let me know down in the comments below what you think will change in Minecraft 1.19. And we got a lot of biomes to go through, so let's just jump right into the video. The first biome we'll be looking at today is the Plains biome. And this is obviously a very plain biome, but it does have all the standard mobs, the pillage outpost, villages, ruined portals, lava pits, ravines, and soon also the archaeologic dig sites that we should have gotten already in Minecraft 1.17. So we do know that the dig sites will be added in 1.19, making the Plains biome even more interesting. It could have been more interesting already, but seeing as it should be plain, giving the name Plains biome, I do think that it is pretty perfect, and I don't think they'll ever add any big updates to this biome. The next biome is the Flower Forest, and once again this is basically just the Plains biome with a lot of pretty flowers scattered everywhere. So it could be more interesting, and I do see the chance of Mojang adding some fun gimmick to the Flower Forest, but on the other hand it's just a pleasant and nice biome to go through and discover, so I would say that it's probably not gonna get an update. It could have an added gimmick at some point, but I'd say it's pretty good, and I don't see an update coming very soon to that biome. The next biome is the Birch Forest, and in this biome all you can find is red flowers and a bunch of birch trees. On one hand, I really wish that Mojang would add something to this biome because it's extremely boring. But then on the other hand, maybe not every biome needs a gimmick. So just like the Flower Forest, I'm gonna put it down here with pretty good. It could be better, but I don't see Mojang adding any big updates to this biome anytime soon. And now finally something a little different with the Dark Forest. In this biome you will find a new type of wood called dark oak, and you will also find the giant mushrooms. Besides that, it will also sometimes contain the woodland mansion, which is super fun to explore, and on top of that, the lack of lights allows the hostile mobs to spawn in daylight as well as in the night. So this is a super fun and challenging biome. So I would actually say that it's quite perfect. They could add something more interesting to the woodland mansion and maybe add some other stuff around in the forest, but in my opinion it's already fun as it is, and I don't see Mojang updating this biome anytime soon. Next up is the Jungle biome. This is a super interesting biome given that it contains so much that is found nowhere else. Jungle wood, vines, pandas, bamboo, cocoa beans, melons, and parrots. Besides that, you can also find the rare jungle pyramids, which are fun to find and explore, even though it always has bad loot. To top it off, the jungle has a fun terrain to go through, with super tall trees and bushes making it super unique and interesting. Now, some people wish for it to get some kind of update, but except for the jungle pyramid, which could be updated, I actually think this biome is pretty unique and perfect. It has so much that you can find nowhere else, super unique, super fun to go through. I really like it. I don't think Mojang is going to update this anytime soon. Next up is the Mountains biome, and besides llamas, goats, and a more fun and pretty landscape, Mountains doesn't bring anything new to the table that wasn't already in the Plains biome. So yes, obviously this needs an update, and it will get that in Minecraft 1.18, so we might as well not talk about it and just put it down here. This definitely needs an update, and it will get that in Minecraft 1.18, so we'll be seeing that very soon. Next up is the Desert biome, and once again it's a kind of a plain biome, but this one is luckily very different from the actual Plains biome. Sand instead of dirt, sandstone instead of regular stone, and cacti and dead bushes instead of trees and flowers. I personally really like the desert, as it's kinda like a more challenging version of the plains biome. There's still villages, outposts, water, caves and so on, but it also contains some very unique hostile mobs and only spawn rabbits as a passive mob. And adding the desert wells and the desert pyramids, I think the desert has everything that a desert needs. So in my opinion, this is actually a very good biome. The only thing that it is missing is an oasis around the desert lakes, which would have given it a nice touch and maybe given the player a chance to get some greenery in the very yellow and dull scenery. And then also some more unique mobs spawning around in the desert, giving it a little bit of life. That would be a nice touch. But besides that, I would actually say that it's pretty good. I don't think that Mojang is gonna update it anytime soon, as it is so unique and special to itself. But of course, it can seem kinda boring. So it might get one at some point, but I don't think it's very likely. Next up, we have yet another forest biome, and that is the taiga biome, giving us spruce wood, which is one of the best wood in the game. It's so pretty, and a much higher chance of finding wolves. Besides that, it also contains ferns, foxes, and sweetberry bushes, which are three things that I really enjoy. Ferns and sweetberry bushes are pretty for decoration, and the fox is just another pet in the game, which is so nice to have. Villages can also spawn here, giving us some very unique looking structures, and all in all, I'm gonna say that this biome is pretty perfect. It could be better with some more gimmicks, but I don't think that Mojang is gonna update this biome anytime soon. Next up are the tundras, which in theory are super boring and plain. Not much spawns here besides rabbits and polar bears, and then of course villages and outposts can also generate, giving a little life to the biome. I'm not super impressed by this biome, but then on the other hand, it is a tundra, and realistically they really shouldn't be that interesting. So kinda like the flower forest and the birch forest, I'd say that it definitely could be more interesting and a lot better, but since some biomes should be realistic and kinda boring, to bring some variation to the more interesting biomes out there, it's actually pretty good, and I doubt that Mojang will update this biome. Related to the tundra comes the ice spikes biome, which looks super cool and interesting, but besides that, nothing is really going on in this biome. And since packed ice now also has a chance of spawning in the ocean as well, there's really no need for this place any longer. So in my opinion, this biome needs something more to get interesting again. Maybe change the ice spikes to blue ice, making it even more rare, or add some hidden treasures, or maybe a new magical mob. I say magical because the ice spikes looks like something from a fairy tale, and I think Mojang should use that to their advantage and make this rare biome more sought after again, as it once was before the aquatic update. So even though I sadly doubt that Mojang will give it an update, I think this biome needs a new update right now. Next up, we got the swamp biome. In this biome you'll find oak tree, vines, lily pads, and the witch hut. It's pretty annoying to navigate because of all the water puddles and just as difficult to sail through, although this is of course how a realistic swamp should generate. I personally really like the idea of a swamp, but everything is just so poorly executed. The trees should be a new type of unique wood, or at least have a unique look to them. Only Bedrock Edition has mushrooms and giant mushrooms in this biome, which in my opinion makes a lot of sense. And the witch hut is the worst structure ever. Upgrade the trees, add some new mobs like frogs or even alligators, and make the witch hut bigger and more interesting. This biome is in a serious need of an update. Next up is the Savanna, which is so good and at the same time so extremely bad. It's very obviously based on African savannas with acacia tree, never any rain, unique looking villages, and so on. The biome itself is looking so much like a savanna, but the mobs ruins the illusion of this actually being a savanna. There's so much potential here, and even if Mojang doesn't want to add hostile mobs, there's so many possibilities besides lions, like wildebeest, elephants, ostriches, zebras, giraffes, etc. This could be such a nice biome, but the mobs, or rather the lack of mobs, really ruins it for me. So in the end, I'm really torn between these two tiers. The biome itself is really pretty and I do like the savanna, but at the same time it could be so much better. So I'm gonna end up putting it down here. I don't think it's gonna get an update, but I really wish it would. Next up are the Badlands, aka the Mesa biome. This biome is basically a desert with red sand and terracotta. No passive mobs spawn here, and the only plants are cacti and dead bushes. So in theory it's kinda boring, but it looks really nice and unique in my opinion, and it does something so unique that it makes it one of the coolest biomes ever. Both mineshafts and gold ore generate at a much higher level, making it super unique and extra interesting to explore, kinda like the Wild West or something, which is probably also why they called it the Badlands. I don't know why Mojang haven't featured this in any other biomes as well, because it's so unique and awesome. So in my opinion, this biome definitely is up here at the perfect tier list. It's so good. And now we'll be taking a trip to the beach. The beaches are probably the smallest biome in this game, so of course we can't expect much from it. But even so, it actually has its own unique mob, the turtle, that doesn't add much, but is unique enough to be an awesome addition to the game. So seeing as it's such a small biome and it's very restricted what you can put in this biome, I would actually say that this biome is pretty perfect. It does of course also have the hidden treasures buried here, but we're not gonna talk that before the ocean biome. And so we'll be moving on to the ocean biome. The beaches are of course connected to the ocean that has been through such an upgrade after the aquatic update. Seagrass, kelp, fish, shipwrecks, underwater ravines, underwater ruins, squid, dolphins, ocean monuments, coral reefs, and now also glow squid and axolotls found near underwater caves and underwater ravines. The ocean biome is probably the biome that feels the most alive, and the treasure hunts for buried treasures and shipwrecks are some of the most entertaining parts of every Minecraft world in existence, and it will never be anything but fun to explore. So of course I'm gonna put the ocean biome up here at the perfect tier. If I could, I would put them up here because I think it's just that good. And of course Mojang is not gonna update this anytime soon, if any time at all, because it's not that long ago that they updated the ocean and they just did such a good job. It is literally perfect. Next up is a very unique biome, and that is of course the mushroom fields. Instead of grass, the biome is covered in mycelium, and the whole place is covered with both small and giant mushrooms. Even the cows are covered in mushroom. Besides the moose room and the bats, no mobs spawn here, making it perfect for most Minecraft server shopping districts. It's a very unique biome, but sadly it's also quite boring, especially because of the grey color of mycelium and the fact that mushrooms not even are that rare nor useful any longer. And with the rumors of lowering the light level of preventing hostile mob spawning, this biome becomes more and more useless. So just like the ice spikes, this place could use some sort of update to make it more useful and sought after again as it once was. So even though I doubt it will happen since it's still so unique compared to other biomes, I'd still say that this biome could be a lot better, and it probably should and might even get an update at some point. I'm gonna have to put it down here at the lowest tier. And before we get to the end of the video, we of course has to talk about the end. The end is super unique and super interesting, and then at the same time it's really freaking boring. Obviously, this is where you fight Jean, aka the Ender Dragon, and the place is crawling with one of the most dangerous mobs in the game, the Enderman. After defeating Jean, you can explore the end to get weird fruit that teleport you when eaten. You can fight weird boxes that makes you float but can be converted into awesome chests. And you can also go to the end city ships that contains one of the best features in Minecraft, the Elytra. Now this is all very unique and awesome compared to everything else in Minecraft, but it's also very boring. Everything is either black or white and you can bridge forever looking for the end cities. So even though the end is super fun to explore in some aspects, it's also very boring in others. And seeing the treatment that the Nether got, I believe Mojang could add different biomes to the end as well, making it absolutely perfect. So even though the end is not as bad as the other biomes down here, I'm probably gonna put it here at the bad tier, just because I know they could make it so much better. And I absolutely do think that Mojang is planning on updating this biome very soon. And now we're getting to the Nether biomes, starting with the Basalt Deltas. And speaking of the Nether, the Basalt Deltas are one of those biomes that doesn't look like the old Nether, but totally feels like the Nether nonetheless. And I love this biome. It's super dangerous, it's super creepy, and it's super fun to explore. It contains some of the best looking blocks, and can even contain fortresses and ruined portals. Everything in the Nether should be just as dangerous and creepy as this biome is. It's absolutely perfect. The same goes for the newly added forests in the Nether, the Warped and Crimson Forests. These biomes add something so familiar yet so different from anything else in Minecraft that you can't help but loving it. New fungi, new wood, new mobs, new blocks and new structures. I love it! It contains so much to explore, like fortresses, bastion remnants and ruined portals, and bartering with the piglins is an added feature that I think most players find very useful and fun to do. So once again, I just gotta add it up here in the perfect tier. It's so good. Slowly moving on, we get to the Soul Sand Valley. This particular biome is also very unique, dangerous and creepy. With basalt pillars, nether fossils, remnants, fortresses and ruined portals, it can be interesting and worth the trouble to explore, but beware of the constant slow walking in soul sand and the big amount of ghasts and skeletons spawning everywhere. This is a very challenging biome, and to me it sadly misses a little bit. If you have good armor, boots with soul speed and a good bow, it's not so bad, but if you're forced to go through this biome without that gear, it can be not only challenging, but actually quite annoying with ranged hostile mobs and close to none movement speed. So to me it's pretty good, it definitely has the right vibe to it, but things like spreading more soul soil and less soul sand would really help lesser experienced players enjoy this biome even more. So it's not as perfect as the other Nether biomes, but it is definitely pretty good. And the last biome is the Nether Wastes. This is the only so-called boring part of the Nether, but in my opinion it works as a perfect transition between the other biomes, and it has a nice touch of nostalgia for people like me that played the game before the Nether update. It's a nice mix of everything that the Nether contains, and I wouldn't change a thing about it. So obviously I'm gonna put the Nether Wastes at the perfect tier, and obviously Mojang is not gonna update any of the Nether biomes anytime soon. They just did that and I think they're very proud of it, and they should be. It's absolutely perfect. I love the Nether as it is right now. So just to sum up, the perfect tier is the plains that should be plain, it is dark forest, jungles and badlands, which all is so unique that we really don't need any update right here, right now. And then the newly updated biomes like beaches, oceans, and of course the Nether. These biomes are absolutely not gonna get an update anytime soon. I really don't think so. The pretty good tier has Flower Forest, Birch Forest, Desert, Taiga, and the Tundra, and also Soul Sand Valley, but just ignore that for now. In my opinion, these 5 biomes here has everything they really need. They're unique in their own way, and they are supposed to be boring. I mean, a desert and a tundra especially can't have that much life in it. So I don't think Mojang is gonna update these biomes. They might do, but I actually don't expect them to, and I fear that they would ruin the biomes if they did. And then I were supposed to put some biomes in this tier that I thought could be better and might get an update. But honestly, I just changed my mind while recording the video, so they either ended up here or down here. And the lowest tier has, first of all, the mountains that we know will get updated in 1.18, the ice spikes, the swamp, the savanna, the mushroom fields, and the end. Now I've heard that Mojang won't add any new biomes before all the existing ones are perfect. So my ultimate guess is that the most likely biome to get updated in Minecraft 1.19 is first of all the swamp, followed by the end, and then maybe the savanna. I really don't think that Mojang will update the mushroom fields or the ice spikes, even though I really wish they would. So yeah, that is my guess. The next update is probably gonna be a swamp update or maybe an end update. And if we're really lucky, they're gonna update the savanna and give us some more African animals like elephants or just zebras and wildebeest. Just something simple like that would make the savanna so much more realistic. So that is my prediction of what biomes will get updated in Minecraft 1.19. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, then leave a like and subscribe if you're new to the channel. Check out the links in the description, where you'll also find the link to my Discord server. With all that out of the way, thank you so much for watching.